Hi everyone, I'm Alexa Donne, and I know we have been talking a lot about querying lately. And that's because there's a lot to say about it. It's an essential part of the process in getting an agent and therefore getting a book out into the world. We've talked about what a query is, how to write a query, best practices for queries, but how do you find agents to query? I'm going to tell you all of my best strategies and tips. Finding and building an agent list isn't as hard as it sounds, though it is going to take some work. My top tip is to start with published books. Look on your own bookshelf at the books that you love, go to a bookstore or the library. You want to browse in your genre, books that are similar to yours, but maybe not too similar. A lot of agents don't want to represent clients who write books that overlap, but they will represent similar books because the books that they've sold represent their tastes. Flip to the back of the book to the acknowledgement section. Most authors thank their agent, and if they don't, well, that's probably not a good sign. You don't want to know who the agents are that they don't thank. Typically, they're going to thank them right after they thank their editor, so look for those names and start making a list. In the early points of your research, don't worry about vetting agents. Just make a list of all of the names that you come across. I recommend starting a spreadsheet to track this. I like to use Google Docs. You want to track the agent's name, the agency that they're at, their lead clients, and some of the books that they've worked on. This will help you later so you remember why an agent is on your list, that they represent so-and-so. Another resource is Writer's Digest. They frequently post profiles of new agents who are looking to build their lists. You can Google this or search on their website. I also highly recommend Literary Rambles. This is a blog that has been around for years, and they have meticulously put together agent profiles. It's particularly a strong resource for kid lit, as that is the blog's focus. The agent profiles are pretty extensive. They cover what the agent is looking for, some of the clients they represent, their working style. I found a lot of agents this way. Get into the writing community and follow contests. You don't have to be in the contest to pay attention to them. I recommend looking at Pitch Wars, Pitch Madness, Query Combat, any major online contest where reputable agents are participating. Look at the list and pick out agents who represent what you write. Note them down for further research later. Pay attention to who is favoriting tweets during pitch contests on Twitter. Not everyone who participates in something like PitMad is reputable, but it's still a good place to start. Manuscript wishlist. This is an amazingly useful hashtag that is MSWL. The website is manuscriptwishlist.com written out. That's the official website. There's also an unofficial website, which is mswishlist.com. The unofficial one is using an algorithm to sort and track all the agents who are using the hashtag, so it's equally as useful as the official site. The official site has agent profiles that the agents themselves can maintain, so it's typically going to be the most up-to-date resource of what agents are seeking for their manuscript wish list. You can search by keyword, and it's a great way to find agents you might not have otherwise heard of. Another tip is to look at major and reputable writers' conferences. Think SCBWI, Writer's Digest, RWA, etc. Look at the participating agents, the agents who are going to those conferences, taking pitches, sitting on panels, etc. Major and reputable conferences typically only invite legitimate agents. You can also check Publishers Weekly, which publishes major book deals every week. Not all book deals being made are reported to Publishers Weekly, but it can offer you a really good snapshot of what is being sold in your genre. And from this, you can note down some of the names that you're seeing. Major and legitimate publishers are announced in Publishers Weekly, so it's a really good benchmark for agents who are selling to good publishers. All of these suggestions are ways to just add to your list. You're looking for names and familiarizing yourself with a wide variety of agents. The next step is the deep dive. You need to start doing research. This means Googling the agents, checking their agency websites, using your best sleuthing skills to determine if they are a legitimate agent at a legitimate agency. For way more information on that, check out my Agent Red Flags video and my Schmagent video. But typically the proof is in the pudding. Do these agents and agencies have major sales in your genre of books you've heard of to reputable publishers? A fantastic tool, if you can afford it, is Publishers Marketplace. Unlike most of the other tools, Publishers Marketplace isn't free, so it is a bit of an investment. It's $25 a month for a personal account, but with it you're able to search through all reported deals. Not all agents report all their deals, but most agents do report their deals on Publishers Marketplace. A lot of them also have profile pages on Publishers Marketplace. Now, the profile pages are free to view, but if you want to see their deal maker page, that's when you can see all of their sales. You need to have a paid subscription. Publishers Marketplace is a great place to vet the agents that you have on your list. You can see what sales they have, when they made them, to what publishers. You can start to see trends in terms of who's up and coming, who maybe hasn't had a sale in a while, and get a sense of who they have business relationships with at what publishers. This brings me to my favorite query tool, querytracker.net. It can be a place where you can find agents to query. It is a massive database of agents, but primarily I used it for tracking my queries as I was actually querying. I'll talk more about how I use Query Tracker in my query strategy video, but you can also use Query Tracker to find agents to put on your list. They have success stories where they post interviews with Query Tracker members who have successfully signed with agents. They have forums and an extensive database. So those are a ton of different ways that you can find agents to add to your list. The hard part is vetting them. Several of the resources already include an agent's tastes and what they're looking for. Others have vetting mechanisms built in, as I mentioned with Publishers Weekly and Publishers Marketplace. Don't fret too much about vetting. You'll psych yourself out if you become obsessed with making sure that every agent is a perfect agent or perfect for you. You just want to compile as much information as possible. You can use Query Tracker to keep track of who you want to query, but you can use that personal spreadsheet to keep track of some of the things I mentioned, such as clients that they represent, books they've sold, publishers they work with, genre preferences, etc. Querying is all about arming yourself with as much information as possible, doing your research, and then doing due diligence. If you have questions about how to find agents or suggestions of some of your methods for finding them, leave them down in the comments. I'll also link to all of the resources I mentioned in the description. So that's it. Now you can go out and build a great agent list.